Over to my third presentation, human life, a unique life experiment. So some of the questions which were being asked, a small area which was being left there, what should I do and how should I do, there may be some reason in this session which one will get. So when I say the human life is a life experiment, the session highlights again experiment and experimental. What is the part of experiment and who is the experimenter? What is in my realm and what is not? Wonderful concept of scientific circumstantial evidences. A word about natural regulatory system, cause, effect or charge, discharge. Power of projections or inner bhav, power of bhav or projections. New, easy and scientific approach for meaningful living, which probably you will love at the end of the day, which is the easy and scientific approach. So when I say human life is a unique life experiment, you will of course think that there should be something like this, right? Both the setups and everything. But well, when it is said experiment here, which is the part of experiment? As I already said, my inner or this basic machine, mind, speech, body, inner happenings, outer circumstances and natural regulatory system as a whole, this constitutes the experiment. And living within as I am, with what understanding I am living, with what state of being I am into, that is the experimenter. So I am is the experimenter and this is the part of experiment. Now it goes without saying, and after self-realization, the state of experimenter of course changes. So it is very obvious that if Jignesh gives me his very beautiful new Mercedes-Benz car, if I don't know how to drive, immediately I am going to dash against the wall. But if the mechanism is known, then even an ordinary car will work the best. In other words, if there is a darkness in this hole at 9 o'clock and if I go out, there will be stumblings. But if there is only one light, there will be no stumbling. If I know the method or fundamental of experiment well, I will have desirable results effortlessly. But if I do not know the fundamentals or the rules or the understanding of that experiment, no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I put in my efforts, I will not get to the desirable results. In fact, it will add to more confusions or clashes. Even the flasks will blast off. Is that true? So the whole is, so I have fondly put a secret of secrets because some of you might have gone through the book Secret written by one Nagar. So now let us understand what this experiment, how it is going on. So my first question is, what is in my realm? What all can I do independently in this experiment and what all can I not do independently? So when the things go according to my desire, suppose a company makes a good profit, CEO will come, oh, I run the company very nicely, it made so much profit. But when it is in loss or when share prices are down, the CEO says, what can I do? The economy was bad, there was a recession, the employees didn't work well, then he is no more a CEO, I did. As a nice surgeon, here is me. If the patient compliments me, I say, oh, I did a nice surgery. But when there is a complication, what will I tell? Oh, your body was not responding properly, your immunity was low, and this was low. So we have double language. And as a doctor, I was boasting to save the life of so many, but I could not save my father and 4 of my family members in 3 to 4 years span, even though I tried my best. So am I independent to do all these things? Who runs the body function when you are asleep? Ego has slept. I has slept. Who runs all these things very nicely? If you are or me is given the control, next day it will be a mess. For each event there are so many circumstantial evidences which has to come in the perfect sequence or harmony. This space shuttle which took the Kalpana Chawla in the space, for one evidence of thermocouple, everything went awry. So anything to function properly, there are thousands and thousands of circumstantial evidences which has to come together in a harmonious sequence. Even one of them is lacking, the things will be other way around. So can I tell I did it? So it happens. When can I say I did it if everything is under my control? And there is nobody in the world who has control over all the circumstantial evidences which are required for one particular event. Can I say that I went and gave a talk to holistic inner science? Immediately Mahesh Bhai said, who called you? Immediately you will say, if we were not there, to whom we would talk? So, n number of circumstantial evidences has to come together for a particular happening. And are they in our control? A very beautiful question. Sometimes you think, oh, there was an accident. And is the world by chance or are in perfect order? Is it a chaos? In 2010, we had a very nice conference at Oakland, NASA, where the first nuclear bomb was made, and there were 20 brains and quantum physicists, and so much so I was afraid that these brains. So one topic was whether this world is by chance, chaos, or in perfect order. He was a quantum physicist. He came to the conclusion that the world is in a perfect order. So if it is so, then an incident has so many causes and an accident has too many causes. For the thing to happen, there are required so many causes. Now a wonderful question. Am I independent about my mind? Which I have already told you. So you know the answer, right? I am not independent about my mind. If I would have been, yes, I am independent to deal with my mind. But the mind is not the which I want it will not function the way I want it to, right? So, am I independent about my speech? Why? I will speak only what I want to speak. Is that not true? No. Oh, no. Everybody knows that sometimes we have decided that I'll speak like this. 4th or 5th minute something happen and something else will come out. And sometimes we regret also, I should not have told like that. So, speech is also not. Then the body is under our control totally. Then there would have been no doctors, no healers in the world. So the things to understand is, including mind, speech, body, inner circumstances and outer circumstances, we are doer, but we are instrumental doer and not the independent doer. Everything is not under my control and command. Yes, I am required. I am the principal one required, but I am instrumental doer, not the independent doer. If it is so, then I'll ask the next question, then where is my independence? Tell me, otherwise I'm free. If I have no independence, no responsibility also. Is that not true? No liability. So that says that there are two parts of life. One is the part of happenings which we have already seen, that it depends on so many scientific circumstantial evidences. Why we say scientific will come in a moment for the things to happen. But then there is another part which is not known, is part of projection, decision or bhav. While going through the life, constantly, incessantly, continuously inside, new bhava, positive and negative are being generated, and I do sign for positivity or negative. You will see how. So that part is a separate part, and if I understand this part, I'll be able to understand where is my independence and what all can I do and what all I need or should do. So what is bhav? Bhav is a Gujarati word. Actually it is associated with a state of being, subtle I. In which state of being I am. Whether I am in a revenge-taking state of being, I'll slap him and do this and that, or I will help him more, I'll help him, I'll go one step extra to take care, whatever. So it is a state of being associated with bhav or projections. Our decision or projection after this seminar, what do you think? Would be same for all or would be different for all? Would be different, right? So somebody will feel, oh, this was excellent, I must go in detail and know thoroughly your experience. Or somebody will say it was a good time pass, not to come again. Or somebody will say food was good, seminar was alright. So whatever it is, but this inner decision or projection would be different for different people, okay? Which is not known to anybody else. It is hidden. So my mom in my childhood used to say me, don't do mischief. Otherwise Chitragut will write down his notebook. I was wondering where is Chitragut and how much big server or notebook he has and with how much he would be writing. I will scratch it off. I'll make him change. But Chitragut means hidden bhav which are occurring inside, which are not known to anybody else except myself. So what happens really scientifically here? Here is the process, scientific process of charging which takes place. Suppose I am in an inner decision of helping somebody. I may not have resources right now, but I have the inner state of being, okay, if possible, I'll help this person, that person, that person. So during that state, I am also attracting the atoms and molecules from outside, or I am in the bhav of hitting somebody or slapping somebody. So what happens is there is a conscious inside which is a scientific element, and there is a matter also, both are connected or nearby, and I am member and I am doer is a wire joint which is a continuously charging wire. So with the state of being and with my inner decisions and projections, I am attracting the atoms and molecules from outside. They get sucked in, they are printed and stored within as if it is being stored in a hard drive or whatever. And you know that now very small hard drives also store the information, what 3 terabytes, 4 terabytes and what not. Similarly, actually they are on a conscious element, the physical atoms and molecules get attracted, charged and stored there and forms the causal body. And on the other side, so this is what is being seen here as a pictorially. I am attracting positively or negatively with whatever state of being I have atoms throughout. And then on the other, that forms the causal body or a storage inside like a hard drive or and also it is linked to the cosmic computerized system, which is like a large land computerized system. So the data immediately gets transferred. When I say enter, means when it is a decisive projection of mine, the data gets transferred there also, stored here and transferred there also. Okay? As long as I have not signed it, not given is entered, it doesn't go there. So it gets linked to the cosmic computerized system. And the power charged to these atoms and molecules are linked to the cosmic system. The cosmic system has the function of discharging or giving the results based on my data input. Okay? This is where we say, then how the discharge occurs. Let's say, I had done only one projection of having a wife. Here, this side had made one projection of having a wife, and then some suppose. Somebody having said she should be beautiful. Somebody says, okay, but she should be well learned. Somebody says, my father-in-law should be rich. Right? Now, when the nature gives result, nature says that, wait, the time is not right. Your data has been stored, has been linked, nature has started functioning, but it will give the result only by way of circumstances coming together only when the time and other things are in order. And when the result comes, it is not only wife or only husband. I had asked only wife or only husband. But nature gives results scientifically. So father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, everything is given whether I want it or not. Okay? So I had asked that I want a beautiful, little good life in Australia, and nature give you that life. But then in a package, you don't get a housemaid here. So you have to work dishwashing yourself. So that is the nature system of giving you the result. When the result comes, it is a package. Whatever projection you are doing, the result is in package. Once we were lightly complaining or telling each other that, well, we had projected or done the vow that we will move across the world to share this message. But why? We did not ask for customs officer and immigration officer and visa people and asking so many questions to us. So this system says everything comes as a package. You have to go through the customs and immigration also for the purpose you have asked for. So I had done only one projection of being a doctor. And nature gives me all the scientific circumstantial evidences. I was not knowing who will be my professors, where will be my college, who will be my co-friends, who will be my future patients, who will be my future staff. Based on one consistent projection, when the result is to be given, nature gives you all the circumstantial evidences. Our meeting today, can you now think it is result of what? Just Mahesh Bhai or Jignesh emailing you and you coming here? That appears on the surface, it is not so shallow. Both of us, me as well as all of you, had sown some seeds in the nature. I had some projection that I will share some things with the people for my enjoyment, of course, for my benefit first and then for others. You must have put some seeds that, okay, we would like to know something exactly, simply something. So they were there in the nature scheme. And today, when all the evidences came together, me and Mahesh Bhai met 9 months back. It took 9 months after our meeting to get this materialized at this place, this time, this way, and these many people. Now, so many people will have regret phone calls. Okay, we are registered, we were all set to go, but my leg was injured or some other circumstances came up and we could not come. So this is how the nature works. So this discharge or result is by the natural regulatory system. Creation is done by human projections. I am responsible for creation of my bhav or my projections. Unless I have projected, nature cannot give me the result. Nature is not independently giving me the results by her way. It is my data which is put inside, and natural system is the organized, orderly dispensing system. It is organized, orderly dispensing system to dispense whatever has been projected by me. If I understand this much, now the question to this eternal question, what is part of fate and what is the part of free will? So many scholarly people, scripturally scholars, they have been debating for the years together, where is the fate and where is the free will? So now this science says very simply, fate is not the decided part, but it means the part of dependency, where I am not totally independent, but where I am dependent on so many circumstantial evidences to come together. And so now you know that part of happenings, including mind, speech, body, inner and outer circumstances, is fate, because it is based on scientific circumstantial evidences. And the part of my independence, where is it? The free will is independent of circumstances in form of bhav or projections. My inner projections do not depend on circumstances. I may not have a single dollar in pocket, but I can have a projection whenever possible. I will do this or do that. It depends on my understanding, not the circumstances. I may have millions in bank, but if my understanding is not correct, I say I will not give any single dollar to anybody. Nobody deserves it. All are useless and fruitless people, and they will waste it like anything. So it depends on my understanding, where I am seeing the new seeds or cause or chart for future happenings to happen, which are not seen. So there is a very beautiful aphorism, maybe read somewhere here or in the book, or the aphorisms given to you. Whatever is seen in the world, experience through five senses is fruits, are fruits, seeds are not seen. Seeds are being laid down inside. Okay? So what are the practical applications of knowing this? I am a student of science, so I always ask at the end of the day, what is my take home? How to use it? I am not interested in theory long. Okay, I am interested as far as it makes me understand. At the end of the day, tell me what I should do. Should I be sitting with a closed hand doing only bhav? No. The result also has to come scientifically. So if I am driving a car, can I drive the car with the closed eyes? No. Drive the car with open eyes, with all the care and caution, and then if something happens, it is a play of so many circumstantial evidences together. For so many days I was not so careful who was protecting me, and today I was so much careful. Why it happened? There is a science behind that. Suppose the glass starts falling out of my hand, I should try to save it till end. Then if it is saved, also it is a scientific circumstantial evidence. If it is broken, then also it is a scientific circumstantial evidence. So do your best with care, caution, and best of your abilities. So many people have been asking me, what should we do, how should we do? So one answer was understanding. Whatever you understand to be correct for yourself, either way, by holistic inner science reasons or by your way, do all your best with care, caution, and best of your abilities, and then leave rest to nature. What happens to us is, before starting any work, our mind and intellect is so worrisome. If I do, whether I will fail, whether I will succeed, whether it will happen this way, whether it will happen that way, it takes away all our energy. So even Krishna says that, and everybody says that, do with this, after happening, only say whatever has happened is just and correct. Because it is, I am not the independent one. There are so many circumstantial evidences coming together. As a doctor, I never want anybody to suffer, not for him, but for my prestige. Then there should not be any complication in any surgery. But it does happen sometimes, occasionally. Of course, I do whatever best possible to learn, to revise, to improve everything. But at the end of the day, it's a play of circumstantial evidences, his suffering, and my credit or discredit part, they get associated, something like that. And this is very important, because we suffer a lot due to after effects, not understanding this. The happening happens, and we go on suffering a lot. If I would have done this way, it would have happened like that. If I would not have done this, it would have happened like that. But at the end of the day, it is the natural regulatory system. So if I understand this much, it gives a lot of things. So Krishna in Gita said, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Our people could not understand this. people understood activity as karma. If activity is karma, then I can say that I am very punctual, I go to my clinic 9:30 sharp. If that is my independence, someday it will happen. There was too much of traffic and I was lost in the traffic, I cannot reach, sorry. Or some other hospital I have gone and surgery has lasted very long, I will have to do the regret call. Cancel appointment or postpone, I am stuck somewhere, I cannot reach. So that is not the part Krishna meant to say, that is a karma phal part. Based on our previous projections or decisions, the karma are being done inside in the form of bhava projections, which is in your hand, which is your adhikar. So use it properly. So having known that how best to use this relative free will of mind, this gives the answer to so many questions which are being asked to me. How best to use my relative free will living as name bearer and I am doer. So long as I have the belief that I am Shailesh and I am doer, only relative free will I have is bhav, satta, decision or projections. So as I said, suppose I have hot arguments with somebody. I didn't want, but it happened with Rajini for example. So my inner self will start bubbling, okay, let me show Rajini Bhai and I will teach him this lesson and that lesson. Either I can sign it with that negative bhav or I can change it. Oh Supreme Self or oh Pure Self, I beg pardon, I should not have hurt you. Please give me energy that I will not hurt you again. This is correction which I can do on my part. So here we say that two bhavs or two decisions or two prayers in the morning. Again I am repeating, let my mind, speech and body not hurt any living being in the world to the slightest extent. Let my mind, speech and body help one and all or make one and all happy. Having said that, if something happens during the daytime, I have the simple soap to clean it off and I will get rid. That I will come to, and I have already told, confession, apology and resolution. Then there are 9 codes of conduct for ideal living. The whole, I will also describe that. But the whole world, mainly the teachers, preachers and we also, they want to change the behavior. I will go back to the slides, don't worry. I am connecting to the other point. Most of the people say, don't be angry, be kind, be this, be that. We also decide that I will remain like this. But no sooner we go to real world, it happens differently. Isn't that not true? Yeah. And we get frustrated that we attended your holistic inner science seminar, but nothing changed for us. Okay? Yeah. But it is not true. Everything will change, certainly for you. But where is the change possible? That is important. So can I readily change my behavior or personality traits? Can I readily change the fruits or should I change the effects? Sorry, can I readily change the fruits or effects? No. I need to change the seeds or causes. I cannot change the fruit, I have to change the seed or graft with a different quality. I cannot change the effect, I have to change the cause. So, present prakriti or behavior is the result or effect or discharge of previous beliefs and decisions. Whatever I had believed to be true and whatever I had signed to be ought to be or ought not to be, should be or should not be previously, based on the previous understanding, whatever I had has made my present prakriti in the form of collected atoms and molecules. Mind is made up of atoms and molecules, speech is also made up of atoms and molecules, body is also made up of atoms and molecules, and everything has been charged by my previous beliefs and decisions, which no sooner something happens, gives the instant result or effect or the reaction. So holistic inner science does not ask for the forcible change of behavior. You can see on your page 8 of the aphorisms given to you, see it later on. Then what can you change? It leads to easy change by way of correct understanding. And once the understanding becomes correct, the inner opinions, decisions and projections are easily changed. Even without your knowledge, your inner decisions and opinions will get changed, your inner projections will get changed. Behavior would automatically result in future. So don't get bothered by the so-called immediate change of behavior. Just the change is possible and very easy at the level of understanding, such that your inner self will change at the level of opinions and projections, and the behavior will result in future. So holistic scientist says that understanding itself is a behavior, because once understood, it is going to result in behavior. So here the new causes are laid down. This is a positive behavior policy. Holistic inner science says it is 100% positive science. We never ask anybody why you did this and why you did that. Because we understand that he is not independent controller of that. Rather, we change the opinion or understanding. So based on that, this 9 codes of conduct, the small leaflet has been given to you. So this has the small 9 bhavanas or prayers which I can refer any time in the day, once or twice. And first I am saying, you can open that and then we will move ahead with the presentation ahead. I'll shortly move on that. First I am asking for the inner energy which would restrain me from hurting, causing someone to hurt, or supporting someone hurting even slightly the ego of any living being. Second, I am asking for inner energy which would restrain me from hurting, cause someone to hurt, or support someone hurting even to the slightest extent the foundation or viewpoint of any religion or faith. Okay? The third one, I am similarly, let's go to the 4th and 5th and 6th which are important. And in a 4th, I am asking for the energy, may you bless me with such an infinite inner strength as would not make me dislike or hate any living being to the slightest extent, neither cause anyone or support anyone doing so. But 5th is more important, as we touched in the art and science of communication. O Lord, give me the infinite inner strength as would restrain me from speaking, causing someone to speak, or supporting someone speaking harsh, hurtful language or language of rivalry to anyone. Give me the inner strength to speak soft, sober, soothing language, even if someone speaks harsh, hurtful, egoistic or biting language. This is the both parts are important because every one of us know that most of the problems are due to this only. And we try to remain decent and nice, but after a while when somebody is speaking harsh and hurtful language, we cannot restrain our reaction. So we are asking for the inner strength for both. And in the 6th we are asking for, O Lord, may you bless me with such an infinite inner strength as would restrain me having false desires, gestures or thoughts of perverted sensuality or passion toward any gender, male, female or neutral, and give me the strength so as to be free of sensual or passionate attitudes or perversions forever. So, like this 9 inner cleansing bhavs or projections, and do not get bothered about the behavior to result like that. Just have the inner incessant prayers and the things will result scientifically. So going back to my previous slides, how best to use the relative free will. I have touched the 2 bhavanas, I have touched the 9 codes of conduct. Now, these are the examples of what the power of projection, what the bhav satta can work. This is a small frail body. Few people know he was named as Rajachandra. He had written in his letter that I want to take this science throughout the world so that the world will be in a new shape. In that particular form, he passed away at the age of 36 or 37. But nature has the rule that no constant, consistent 2 projection can fail. So this is being carried out through different ways. This has the projection that let me be instrumental for knowing the ultimate truth of my life and living, but also be instrumental for others' life and living. And thousands and lakhs of people were enlightened and they were liberated. He had a simple belief that whatever happiness I have attained for myself, let it be attained, or let it one and all in the world, in every nook and corner, attain peace and bliss and harmony. I do not want anything. Our meeting today is an extended projection of his power of projection. So what I am telling is, any constant, continuous power projection, nature will always fulfill, because the natural regulatory system is just the result-giving system. So now nowadays to use relative free will, the relative living. Somebody was asking, I have a young family, I have a young family. Here is the answer, whatever you want, decide. I want this much, this. Remain sincere, try your best, and pray. Now somebody will ask me the question, what is the scientific relevance of this praying? And I would say, pray is because it will take away my egoism, it will open my inner responders well so that universe can help me better. My inner understanding also comes me in a better way, and universe has everything to offer to me. Only thing I have to open my inner receivers well. So decide, remain sincere, try, best, pray. If you want to become a big businessman, okay, you can decide that. Remain sincere, work hard, pray, you will get it. Even if you want to become an expert thief, this is the same science works. And from within and without, everything will come your way. If you want to become expert carpenter. So meaning thereby, whether it is in a relative living or whether it is from a holistic perspective, this is the beautiful system working within us. Secret of secrets, that what is in my power and what is in my radar and what is not, and how my own projections work through the natural regulatory system. So now if I put everything together, what we have been talking since morning, we have talked about correct understandings like happiness shop, obliging nature, each action of mind, body and speech, do academy first, world is new only, win your own home. These were the holistic visions, avoid clashes, adjust everywhere, interconnected, living on love, forgiveness or positive vision. Now, on one part, we have understanding. Now this is the easy scientific way. I have already said that there are three parts for any results. Number one, understanding, which I said I should have the understanding of the experiment. Second is application. And in application, I have awareness as well as the free will effort. Once understood, that is my vision, I will apply by awareness. Now comes the role of awareness, application. I should be guided by this correct understanding, vision, and my free will effort part will tell me where and how to act. So this is a very easy scientific way for simple path for meaningful inner living. I have said about Bhavana's course, decide and project, remain sincere. Now something goes wrong. Still something goes wrong, what should I do? So there is another tool given to me in the form of confession, apology and resolution. So many people say, okay, I have decided that I will not have any negative thoughts, I will not have any negative behavior, I will not have this and that, fine. Still it happens. Now we have the answer, okay? Because this prakriti is the result of previous beliefs. So it reacts. What should I do? I should correct it. There is a stain on the cloth. You wash it with a proper cleaners or stainers, right? And there are different stainers, stain cleaners available too. So here what I do is, suppose I have done something wrong to Rajni Bhai, which I didn't want it. Immediately I will correct from within that in the presence of pure self, I see the pure self within Rajni Bhai, which is free of mind, speech, body, name, belonging, attachments, and all the karmic bonds. No sooner I see the pure self, I will become normal, equanimous. I beg pardon for this, my misbehavior. I decide not to do it again. Please give me the inner strength to do it again. Again I come back to the same story, whether am I doing for Rajni or am I doing for myself? I am doing for myself. How? Why? Because with the mistake, it starts bugging me, it disrupts my harmony, I lose my balance. By doing this, first I gain my harmony back, I gain my inner happiness back, I become normal, and then these cordless vibrations go to Rajni Bhai, like my cell phone, and his mind also becomes alright or corrected. So this is in nutshell the path. And the last word about the self-realization. Who am I? Which I have touched upon. And now if you have the curiosity, I can go ahead, otherwise I can leave. What do you want me to do?
Please go ahead.
Please go. Okay. So self-realization is not by words. I tried Google, I tried Wikipedia, I tried everything. And all the information is certainly available there. It's a guiding information, but still it could not make me experience. So it is beyond words, it is my experience. And when you taste it, it is something like this, that somebody in Australia tells me this is a very nice item of Australia. And my taste buds start throwing saliva. But what is that nice? So somebody said, then give me a piece, taste it. So it is to be tasted, that is my experience. And once I experience, there will be a conviction about this pure self nature, and with ever increasing bliss and awareness. Some people say it is a pure isness. For me, it happened through the grace of Jnani. Of course, by word I can explain you that what are the qualities of this Prakriti or relative self and what are the qualities of the pure or real self. But it won't start functioning for you as it should have been. So because there are veils of ignorance, so it's like this, a diamond or a gold being taken out of the mine. And if I go to market, nobody will buy it because the impurities are covering it. Though the elemental qualities are intact, so it needs some purification. So what happened here is the covering veils of ignorance were removed so that I can experience my pure self. And for me, it happened in 1977 at my age of 18. When I was still a medical student, I cleared my first MBBS and I was to enter my second MBBS. Anyway, I was given simple 5 sentences as my guiding light from within. So many people are asking me with what guiding light to go. So I was having this, I am having still this, and enlightened wisdom of prajna, which keeps on alarming me for mindful living from within. Otherwise, I also have a sleep inside, not outside. With open eyes, I can sleep inside. So, self-functional awareness, I term it as a self-functional awareness, and it led to very free state of bliss with experience of inner freedom. It functions even in extreme situations of joy or grief. There has been deaths of near and dear, consequently 4 deaths in 3 to 4 years in our family. We can share that over a cup of tea, but this helped us a lot. My brother is also sitting here. We lost just less than 2 years maybe of his, a very playful child in no time. But still, with this understanding, we could become stable very soon from within, which will share sometime. And both relative and real are parallel. Relative means mind, body, speech and all its functions and all its role. It's not that it sacrifices or hampers the other. I, in fact, have been benefited in my profession, in my dealings with my patients, in my all the ways. So both the relative and real go up. The bird flies with 2 wings. Similarly, except for monorail train, it runs on 2 parallel tracks. So I have 2 viewpoints, relative viewpoint, how the mind, body, speech and Shailesh works and how the pure self works, what is the relation between 2. So with these 2, both are functioning well. Right now, who is talking to you is not me, is Shailesh. And I am just trying to know and see how the Shailesh is talking and whatever the mistake is occurring by Shailesh or not. So this is in nutshell. So correct understanding, awareness, cleansing of mistakes will lead to positive experience, and positive experience in its turn will reinforce the understanding. So it's an experiment that once you have the correct vision, the results will come, the results will reinforce your experience and will make you more strong to pursue the experiment, right? So we have covered how best to live as an experimenter, what is in my regard, what is not, how best to use relative free will. We have covered the power of projections, what to project and how to project, and new easy and scientific approach for meaningful inner living. So my formal presentations end over here, and I hope in these 3 sessions I have been able to clarify most of the things which are pertaining to our life and living, which are pertaining to the various questions, and now we are open for questions. The first question being asked, is everybody ready or want to have a small break for something? I can provide a break.
What are 2 bhavnas? What are 2 bhavnas?
Sure, I'll come to it. So the first question is, I heard that real I is observer and other sentence was everybody is correct by viewpoint, or I am in everything and everything is in me. The question is how to understand or logically prove this beautiful thing. Whosoever asks is beautiful. So now that I have completed my third session, you can understand that there are two I living in me. One is relative I is Shailesh, who is son of somebody, who is brother of somebody, who is doctor for somebody, who is friend for somebody, and different phases of life. And there is another I, real I. So one is the part of Prakriti or a relative self, another is the part of real self. Now when I say that everyone is correct by his or her own viewpoint, it was from the relative interconnected living perspective. That why we have the clashes or conflicts in the relative dealing? Because my relative self says I am right? And no sooner I try to become insistent or adamant, I have to be ready that the other person is going to pound back with a double force, or at least not double then equal force, right? So I have to understand that in a relative interconnected world, everybody has his or her own viewpoint. And everybody has the viewpoint different. Why? Because the inner machinery is different for everybody. Everybody has passed through different set of circumstances. Everybody has inner different evolution, and that is how the things are coming differently. So only thing which can help me is my attitude that I want to go friendly. Friendship is the best possible way to deal with any situation, and we all know that however our best friend or friend behaves, we don't take it as note of force, we always take it with love, even though we may quarrel, but our inner heart doesn't get separated. So with that attitude, I have to go in an interconnected dealing that everybody can be right by his or her own perspective. This doesn't mean in absolute or literal terms, it means in an interconnected dealing perspectives. And most commonly, if we see in our own home, we may be saying differently, our wife may be saying differently, the children says differently. Is anybody wrong out of three? No, these are perspectives. So I have to understand that everybody has their own viewpoints. And I have to know so that I am blind to the other's viewpoints, I am not human, I am inhuman. Okay? And as far as the real I is concerned, that comes when I have known my real self, I have the awareness, functioning awareness by way of qualities of the real self. That I can step back and see what's happening in the relative self, where the relative self is making mistakes or not making mistakes. Rather, I can guide also relative self. In Houston, we had one co-speaker, because in holistic science we do invite the other co-speakers also. He was a psychiatrist, and he came out with the talk, self-talking. You talk to yourself from within. You guide to yourself from within. And then it does help. And in this science, our enlightened wisdom, our enlightened prajna guides us from within as if we are guiding self-talking. Within us means relative self, and the real self remains knower and seer. So, hope I am correct. So, everything has to be understood by two perspectives, relative and real. Relative means interconnected living perspective, and real means by the elemental nature of the pure self, or whatever you can say, free from all these parts. Am I clear? So now the second question, realize observer, but if I practice that more, I get peace and happiness in meditation. So I like to keep this observation continuing day-to-day life. Works how to do that, because when I have to do mental work, which needs focus, it is difficult to focus mind or on neither and observer both. Any better solution? I know. So what he is asking is, when I sit in meditation, I can practice that I am observer. But in my daily living, I cannot do that, because my focus can be either in doing the job or in pure self. Yes, this is a very real question. The trick is, get the help of one who has mastered the art of doing that. And with that help, once, again I am saying that this is an experiment where the pure conscious and matter, they have come together, and there is a binding waves, Bhranti Ras, the sticky waves, which are not allowing me. Once they are being separated by the scientist, then my inner functioning awareness starts, not all the time, but at least On the level of conviction, I know that how these two parts are functioning, and then I can go to the experiential state of being, at least in some stages of life. But I agree that your focus can be on one, not on both at times. But with initiation and with the journey ahead, one can have, and we have been fortunate to have that experience at least in some parts of the ongoing life. If I have to most humbly tell that. And not only me, but here there are few, you can interact with them, you can test them, you can screw them and try to find out how the science is working within them. Second question is, as I understand, when pure soul and matter interact, extra special phenomena happens, and person with mind and body and soul happens. Whole relative world happens. Yes. Question, why this phenomena happens? Very good. Very good question. Why this phenomena happens at all? Who made this happen? So anyway, this is a good question. See, what has happened is, somebody asked me, what is the meaning of life? Tell me. And from one perspective, life is to undergo through experiences, to learn, to evolve, and to reach to the ultimate, where you have all the answers, where you are free from all the confusions, where you are free from all the painful or sorrowful or whatever afflictions, and you are stabilized in your own blissful state of being. Somebody asked me the question, what is freedom? So this has relevance to this question. I'm joining that. First and foremost, my freedom is in the daily living. If I'm getting affected by something, somebody insults me, somebody talks in a bad manner to me, and there may be effect within me. There is some loss and there may be effect within me. So first and foremost, I am seeking vision which can keep me free of these effects. That is one. So first freedom is freedom from ignorance, freedom from incorrect understanding, which right and here now will make me experience the inner freedom with inner joy, inner bliss and inner happiness and harmony even in testing or diverse situations. Though seeming difficult, it can happen slowly and progressively. So this is first freedom. The second freedom is, or second state is, I have known that my pure self, or everybody's pure self, is full of infinite knowing power, full of infinite vision or perception power, full of infinite bliss and full of infinite strength, but I am not experiencing that at the moment. Initiation leads me to beginning of experience when I will be having fully manifested state of pure being. When I will be experiencing all the time, all the way, in all the phases, my infinite inner pure knowing power, my infinite inner pure seeing power, my inner infinite pure bliss, I would feel that, okay, this is the state of ultimate being where I have been manifested in my own innate elemental nature. In other words, the gold has become 24 karat pure gold, or diamond has become purest of pure. So having said that, the life is a journey, whether you want it or don't want it. From the scientific perspective, if you want to understand, there are two parts of the universe. In one part, there are 6 eternal elements which have come, which are there as elements. They were there, they will be there, and they are and they will be. So as these 6 elements have come together, especially conscious and matter, the third things have started, and our journey has started, and we are getting higher and higher, and we will reach to a state when somebody will teach us how to now get into the pure state of being, and that we will be passed out of that. So it is something like that. Our child getting 16 or 17, now he is eligible for getting license, so we'll put him to driving school and teach him how the car works. So when we are eligible, or when we have developed from within to understand this, it is coming our own way that how to understand this experiment and how to get now the ultimate bliss, or how to get puzzle free. So that is to attain that experience. We are in this tumbling barrel, we are moving to and fro, back and forth, and ultimately we will have that ultimate state of knowledge or ultimate state of purity. So it happened because the elements were together in the universe, so wantingly or non-wantingly it has happened naturally. Answer is, it happens naturally. That's a very beautiful thing. The things happen naturally. The third question is, please explain pratikraman and how to do it. Very good question. What is one-line definition of happy life? Oh, very difficult question. Anyway, somebody asked me about two bhavanas. So, these two broad bhavanas, two broad spheres of projection are in an interconnected living, as long as our mind, body, speech. And I believe in I'm living. And that part also has to be taken care. So let my mind, speech and body not hurt any living being to the slightest extent. Let my mind, speech and body oblige one and all or make one and all happy. In your kit you have a small book, if you open that or if you can see that, like this. And in this there is a chapter 5, Simple Ways for Meaningful Living. And there it has been listed. And the second bhavana, for knowing my true self or for knowing my true identity, I want to know who am I. For knowing who am I wish to meet the holistic scientist who is the thorough experience of self and non-self, who is the thorough experience of Prakriti and Purus, who is free of all doership egoism, who is free of I and mindless egoism, and with his instrumental help, I can experience the true identity of myself. So to know who am I add the projection that let me, Mother Nature, give me such an instrument of enlightened person who, having mind, body, speech, is totally free from I and my, always staying in a stabilized state of experience of the pure self, and who, by non-doership way, naturally can become instrumental for us to start on that journey. So these are the two basic bhavanas. And the pratikraman, as somebody is asking, it's a cleansing process, I say. Cleansing process, mental cleansing process you can say. So it is a traditional word, alochana, pratikraman, pratyakhyan. In English we can simplify it as confession, apology and resolution. Confession of what? During the day everything is going well, every now and then it is not bugging me or bothering me, every now and then I am not making mistakes. But wherever I have made mistake, it starts bugging me, my pure self tells me or the conscious tells me this is not correct. So at that time, rather than protecting it by my intellect, I should say that in the presence of pure self, I see the pure self in the person to whom I have done this. I beg pardon, I confess that, I beg pardon, that is pratikrama, I revert back, I take legal U-turn. The GPS tells take legal U-turn, take legal U-turn. So, ati means excess or abnormal behavior or mistaken behavior. Prati means to revert back from that mistake, come back to the normality and harmony. And resolution, pratyakhyan, is to decide not to do it again. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. What is the time left out, Pratik bhai? Is enough time. Enough time. Okay, good. So now I have been ahead of time, right?
More questions.
Yeah, there are many more questions. No problem. Thoughts wander and occasionally and involuntarily in negative direction. How to keep thoughts from wandering effectively in desired direction? Tell more about superior happiness. Okay, again a good question. So I am trying to answer this question simply. The holistic inner science is another wonderful aphorism. Don't worry for negatives. Win the negatives with positive. Don't try to push away the darkness. It's very difficult. Only have a small candle of light. Meaning thereby increase the positive rather than getting bothered about negatives. So what I will do in this place? I will find out what is the positive reading, positive inspirational, where can I get in touch? And here I have a most humble request and my most humble expression as a friendly, as a heartily for you, that you will go away at your home after this seminar and you will have some reading material. But after a few days the clouds will start coming on to that understanding. So keeping in touch is very, very important. Little bit here and there. So reminding yourself, reading something, keeping in touch. How would you keep in touch? I will go back to India, you will get Australia. Technology comes to a rescue. Normal use of technology is a boon. Abnormal use of technology may be a difficult thing. Google, Skype Hangout and so many things are here. Here there are groups or there can be made new groups where you can have some few people coming together and we can interact with Google or Skype or something and we can get connected to our own self. Let me again tell you, are you getting connected to me or am I getting connected to you? On the surface it appears so, really in nature's language I am getting connected to my truths and you are getting connected to your truths and your life. This atmosphere is helping us. We are instrumental for each other. Right? So, find out what can be positively inspiring you, some reading, some manan, some practice. Remain in touch and have the aspiration or bhavanas to get it completed. If the people living in this same world can do it, I am no greater than any one of you. In fact, when we met the holistic scientists, we were having under the age of 18, 19, and you can imagine what can be the state of affairs at 18 or 19. How much jugglery is going inside and outside. But this light helped to make it positive or correct, even though there are lots of storms going inside. So this is one answer. Tell me more about superior happiness. Very good, another question. So in the slides of reflective consciousness, I have shown you analyze yourself, see yourself from morning to evening, over 1 week and over 1 month, how your attention has been used. Sometimes in a job and that is compulsory, that is fine. In a leisure time, I am driving in a car, destination is 1 hour away. How I am using my time? Can I use my time and focus and attention for something better? There are people in USA, in India, everywhere, they put some spiritual songs, something which can keep time and inner things uplifting and productively being used. Between the two patients, I do get time. Between the two committed tasks, you can get the time even in your hobbies. It is up to you to decide, find out the spaces in between and decide how to use that time. So, readings like this, there are enough reading material from the enlightened ones. Even by reading 2 lines, you open the aphorisms given to you, and by reading 2 or 4 lines, you will be positively energized. More than enough. One song, 2-5 minutes, and you will be positively energized. There are so many such things. So one thing, occupy yourself at least in the spaces which you get as a time spaces in between, utilizing your inner time. The outer time may not be in your hand, but inner time can always be in your hand. And utilize those spaces for this positive. And that itself, see, it's a very simple rule. I am, wherever my reflective consciousness or attention is, I'll give you a simple example. You go to our young kids' room, and they have photographs of maybe football player, maybe cricketer, maybe some heroine or hero, and there will be effect like that on his reflective consciousness. So the rule is, wherever you join the reflective consciousness, immediately it starts giving the results like that. So if I join my reflective consciousness or attention into something like this, it will give me superior happiness. And immediately I will start going to that direction. And ultimate happiness is when I go to Mars. But before that also there are many ways and tools, very easy and simple, which can give you the superior happiness. Means you get strength from within, you get free from clashes, you get free from inner weaknesses, you enjoy, you get up, and you are getting more and more free, lighter and energized. So that is what I mean by superior happiness. How do I put my signature on my bhav? Is that another bhav? Without your signature, the bhav doesn't get completed. But that signature is the subtle state of I, subtle state of being. Sometimes even in unawareness we are signing so many checks inside. I have thought argument with somebody, and if it stays in that state of turmoil and rebel stays in me for more than 8 minutes, it lays down the seeds. The rule is, any state of being which is lasting for more than 8 minutes will sow down the seeds, whether you want it or don't want it. And when you decisively say, okay, I will do this, I want this, you are sowing the seeds. But that is inner state of being I am talking, not the outer one.
Excuse me, Dr. Shaitan, will just take a break now?
Sure. I hope you have more clarity on the things. And if not, you can come and interact with me. I know this is the most subtle part of the human life science, and probably never revealed so simply and so clearly. So that is why I say this is the secret of secrets. And having known that, I can very easily have my part or inner part for simple and meaningful understanding. Jai Satchidanand, we'll take 4 tea, and I will not bother you with any more presentations, but we will have one more from Rajni, and then we will have practical experiment sessions. So many still interesting things are to come, and I have my inner projection or my inner vow that each minute of every one of us should be best rewarded. So it becomes not only memorable, but also enriching and transformative. Jai Satchidanand.
Just to let you know that we do have a concluding session after the tea. We will continue with the questions as well as we will have vote of thanks for Dr. Mehta as well. So
we have one more presentation also by the right?
Yeah.
So we'll take that first, permitting the time will be.
And then we'll finish up with the questions and a vote of thanks for Dr. Mehta.